Recording a SAP script is really easy. You just need to know where to click, where to place the value, where to select the cell. And it's easy and it's possible when the transaction is stable. I mean, the whole structure of the transaction, the whole structure of the data of the tables is stable. It is different when the data structure is changing frequently, when the tables got new values, when the amount of rows is changing or the amount of columns and tables in the SAP tables are changing. So in today's video, I want to show you and I want to teach you how to deal with that changing data structures, especially in case of SAP tables. So in today's video, we're going to learn how to loop through the SAP table, which will help us to find any value in the SAP table or make our SAP code to be more flexible for any changes happened in SAP table structures. So here I got the SAP table prepared for this video. It doesn't matter what is the transaction. We got the SAP table, which has 6 columns and 4 rows. And to be able to start to work with the table, we need to get its ID. And to do that, we need to go to the script recording, which I showed you how to use it in one of my previous videos. Link will be for sure in the description. We need to record any action which is connected with this table to get its ID. So I will press the record button and just click on one of the cells of this table, and we will see what's the recording. So let's click here, for example, and that should be enough. Okay, let's go. Wait a second. And here we go. I can close it. Oh my god, sorry. And here we got the 2 parts of this recording. The first one, which is checking if the whole SAP sessions objects are existing, which we are not interested in today, but we are interested in the second part. So not to be distracted, I will delete this and let's leave this part. So we got 3 rows. So for the first one, session maximize. So it is responsible for the maximization of the main window. So it is 0 index window, which is the main window of the SAP object. So this is not what we wanted. Then we can see some more than window 0, and it's set current cell and the parameters. So this is the action which we did. We selected the cell which has the parameters 2 and the class name. So here we can see the 2 stands for the rows and the class stands for the name of the column, which will confirm in the next part of this video. And the last line, which is telling us that the whole now the whole row number 2 is selected, it's not the second row, because let me show you. As you can see, it is the third row, and everything is correct because this table, all the SAP tables are starting from the 0. So counting from the 0, it has 4 rows. The first one has the 0 index, the second it's the first, the second and the third. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, and the same goes with the columns. But as you can see, we are giving the parameters, so rows in the numbers and column index as its name, as a column name. So we can see the 2 and the class, and this is all we wanted. To be honest, all we wanted is here and inside of the brackets, and this is the ID. This is the shell container. This is all we want to start to work with this table. So I prepared already a code, but I mean the connection code is not the purpose of this video. That's why I'm not showing this. If you want to learn how to connect to the SAP using VBA, I invite you to my another video, which I am showing this from the beginning to the end. But let's focus on that table. So I added the breakpoint here just after the action which I performed, which I recorded using the script recorder, and I will launch it. I want to launch it because I want to show you what you can do in the further steps. Okay, I launched the script, and the script already opened the SAP application and went to this transaction. As you can see, this is the same place as we were before, and what we need to loop through the SAP table, we need to know, seeing that we need the rows and the name of the columns, so we need to count the columns and we need to count the rows, but based on the table, to make the code universal for all the SAP tables. So what we need to do is to add this part, so the whole part responsible for the tables SAP, this SAP table ID, and we need to add this to the watches, and let's take a look on the properties and methods of this table. The most important things for us for now is, first of all, the column count property, which is telling us that there are 6 columns, which is correct, which is the same number as we counted this at the beginning. The next important thing is, you saw the column order, but we will go back to this as the last item. So the second thing is the row count, which is telling us how many rows this table has. So we can see the 4, which is also correct according to our calculations from the beginning of this video. And the last thing, because we want to know the columns names, so the last thing which we are interested in, at least for now, is the column order property, which is showing us all information about the columns. So we got here also the count method for the column order property, so which is also telling the count and the length, those telling us that it's 6, so the same as the column order. But the most important thing of that are those items. So from item 1 to item 6, which is telling us the names of these columns, which we will need to loop to be able to loop through this SAP table. And for now, it is enough to go further. So as the first step is to count the amount of the columns, to set this to the variable, and I did here that setting this value, putting this value to the call order counter and to the long type variable. Then I redeclared the length of the array where I want to put all the names, all the columns names of this SAP table, and loop through all the column order items to get all the columns names. Here I can add another stop. Okay, it's funny how it's disappearing whenever I change something in the code, but let's press F5 and go to that point, and now we will add this array, which should collect all the columns names to the watches, and let's see, it took all the names as we saw them here. So the same names stored now in the array, which is awesome. And then the last part where I'm counting the rows of this SAP table, and thanks to that, knowing the amount of the columns, amount of the rows of this SAP table, and all the columns names, we can redeclare the array for that SAP table. So counting from the 0 to the amount of the rows -1, and the same goes with the columns, starting from 0 to the amount of the columns -1. We can create double loop through the columns and through the rows, and using getCellValue method of the SAP table, so of this, and putting here the parameters of the cells, so the number of the row, index of the row, and column name, we can get the cell value, store that in variable, and put the value of this variable into the array. So after that loop, we should get array, which will be the counterpart of the SAP table. So let's press F5, and yeah, everything disappeared, but okay, let's now add this to the watches. So add this array to the watches, and let's see what we got here. We can see that it's from 0 to 3, so 4 rows from 0 to 5, and 6 columns as we wanted here, and those double loops, and yeah, 4 rows, and in every row we got 6 columns, and all the values from those columns are here. So thanks to that, we can recreate this. We can recreate the whole SAP table, but the most important thing is it lets us to seek for the value in cases when the table structure in SAP and specified SAP transaction is changing. I had this situation once before, and my code was not prepared for such thing, because I was pretty sure that the SAP table structure state is solid and it will not change. and so the code was not prepared for that, but I was wrong and had to do this modification. And now in any case, after any modification I didn't know, the code will know where the column or where the specified value is in this table, on which row, in which row, in which column, because the knowing such approach, which I showed you, we are able to loop through the whole SAP table, and we are able to find any value and any row or any column of this SAP table. So you don't have to create an array to be able to find that value. You can just knowing this, you can just loop and check if the value of this cell from that SAP table is equal to the value which you are looking for. Or you can use that approach, which I'm showing you now, to create the array and to rewrite it to your worksheet. For example, to track the changes of the SAP array in SAP, to track changes in your Excel, in your worksheet. And to sum up, this is how you approach the SAP table when the table is this shell structured, because from my experience I met two types of SAP tables. One of this is the shell container, which we can read it from this table ID, and the second one will be described by me in a future video. So stay tuned for that. So if you like this video, please leave a like down below, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate that. Also, leave the comments down below with your SAP issues and your SAP ideas for the future videos. I will be thankful for that. I invite you to my website, simpleexcelvba.com, to my Pinterest profile with all the memes from my articles, to my Facebook profile, and if you want to show your support to my channel, you can buy me a coffee. All the links are in the description down below. I appreciate all of your support. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.